Welcome, everybody, to We Geek Podcast. Today is April 22nd, 2020. My name is Adam, and joined by my good friend Logan.
Yeah, hello.
What up, man? And dude, so let's catch up, man. How's it been this week?
I,
Or 2 weeks now, actually, I think.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
been a minute. Work and not work.
Yeah.
Picking up more hours at the pizza place. The other day was 4:20 at a pizza place, so
Oh, wow.
you can imagine how well that goes.
Yeah, is 420 the new April 1st? April Fools?
I don't know.
Did you see IGN's post?
Yeah,
The we're talking about the Xbox XXL.
yeah.
And I thought, okay, this is clearly an April 1st joke, but
I think given that the timing of everything, that
I
the
think it's
April
great.
I think the April Fool's pranks were just kind of like, we shouldn't do those right now, and so
Oh.
420 made a better day for it, I guess.
It honestly makes sense. I hope that moving forward, that 420 is another April Fools. Jesus, I can't even speak. Yeah, I hope it's just like another day where companies are like, let's just put out some goofy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I'm coming in weird. I got a new headset. Um, I had to replace my old one, so I can't hear myself. So hopefully I sound good.
Nah, you're all right. We got you.
Yeah.
I can tweak some stuff in post. It's fine.
Okay.
the
Good.
the
But dude,
the awful attitude of anybody who works in audio that they're not supposed to have. We'll fix it in post. Like, no,
exactly.
record it right first. But
Oh yeah.
it's fine. I got everything. We're good.
Well,
We're good.
well, it was a long time coming. I work from home. Work from home for the last 5 years, and I've used the same headset for 5 years. And it has like these little styrofoam, not styrofoam. I don't even know what you would call it. Those, like if I said the headset from Guardians of the Galaxy, that's basically what it looks like.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's got,
it's the little, it's not styrofoam, but it is foam. It's like that little
it's
foam
foam.
covering kind of thing. Yeah, I know what you
And
mean.
and to replace the Jabra headset foam, it was like $30 on Amazon, which, by the way, you can't order because everything is for working at home now, is like back ordered until like
Oh yeah.
June. So what I recommend, this is what I did. It also just happened that my little brother's headset went out for the PlayStation, so I sent him mine, um, which I guess doesn't work with everything. And I ended up just buying a new one. I just said, screw it. I'm gonna get a new headset.
Yeah.
I need one. I need one not only for work but for this and for everything else. So, and dude, it is a game changer. And I don't have to tell you, man. Audio is so important.
Yeah.
I had no idea what I was missing out on.
It's weird when you get, because I mean, most people just have standard whatever. Even some of the people that pay high end, like I've had people that have had, the ones that make me crazy are Beats. Beats are not high end. I don't care how much it costs. But
Right,
that's a whole. They're fine for what they're marketed for. The
right,
bass on those is crazy. Everything else is crap.
right.
But to get a quality, just a great set of monitor headphones. I had a pair of, I think they were Sennheisers, long time ago. I wore them out. They're gone. But
Nice.
everything was just clear.
Yes.
And it's crazy the difference when you get something that's just a real simple response, not anything, something that's just, hey, look, you need to hear what the thing is. You don't want it flavored. You don't want any kind of color coming from the headphones.
Right.
When you actually hear things for what they are, it's nuts, because it does sound so much different than what you're used to.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. And I was looking at headsets. I wanted something wireless, but the problem is with wireless headphones, they're super heavy,
Yep.
and so I didn't want them heavy. But you can't always get what you want. So, a friend of the show, Sean, told me about these HyperX Cloud S something or another's that I got, and I had a discount code, so I ended up getting that. It was more than I wanted to spend, but I need it obviously for work and for this and for everything else. And I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty with my little brother. I've talked about before. He's in New York City, and man, it is rough out there. Like I have to take myself offline. Like I can't. I hate going on Facebook. I feel like a lot of the country, they're out of work, right?
Yeah.
People are out of work. It's very serious. Government's not helping. Those that got a $1,200 check, I'm not sure how far that will go, especially when we're now coming into, oh God, it's going to be May soon. And anyway, it's hard. I don't know. It's hard talking to my brother and hearing what he has to go through, how many ventilators he's having to hook people up to, how many, things he's having to put down people's throats for it, and how many people he's actually lost that he works with. Because in New York City, at the hospital he's at, he's actually lost coworkers due to this. Some of them are in the ICU, and I can't really go into detail what he talks to me about, but it's super serious stuff. And I don't want to be a downer on the podcast or anything, but like, I can't say enough praise for these medical workers out there that are just busting their ass. I know there's not a lot of places that their hospitals are full or anything like that, but the ones that are, the ones that are in these metropolitan areas, if you're listening, if you can possibly stay in, stay in. If you can work from home as long as you can, even if things open up. Because I know even there's a lot of states like Georgia and stuff like that that are ready to get people to work this Friday. Please be careful. Use caution. If you don't have to go outside, don't go outside. There is still no vaccine for this. It still very easily spreads. We're nowhere near out of the woods yet. So even if your leaders in your state and your city are imploring you to go out, I'm telling you, you don't want this. You don't want this in your lungs, especially if you smoke, especially if you're overweight, especially if you have anything, basically. And I mean, that's my problem. I'm heavy. I can't get this. So please do me a favor. Don't go outside. Don't do that, because it's literally a nightmare up there. So, but yeah. So it's been really, really nice to actually talk to him. And we hop in Call of Duty. We got a W last night.
Nice.
Playing Warzone. Absolutely. Me, him, and our friend Ryan. Ryan, he's an anesthesiology nurse. So like, he's used to being so busy, doesn't have time to play games or anything like that. But because of everything that's happened, his job's a little different. He's only been able to do, because they elective surgeries, they've stopped, right?
Yeah.
So he only can work so much. But he's, hey, he's spending time inside because he knows not to go outside, and we've been killing it with Warzone. I've also been playing with another friend of mine with Warcraft, and dude, it's been so much fun. We're leveling up right now. I got my mage. I don't know, like close to 100. In Warcraft, they have decided for the last month they've had 100% XP bonus. So when you play, you're going through dungeons and you're just leveling up at least a level every dungeon, right?
Yeah.
1 or 2. They've extended it until the pre-patch for the expansion, which who knows how that's going to be months down the road.
Yeah, damn.
So this is honestly, Blizzard has been killing it the last few months. I know last year there was a lot of controversy. I get that. I totally respect people if it's not a game they want to play because of the decisions they make. But I do like that they've been listening to the fans regarding this, at least. But I don't want to walk over anything that they did in the past. But I'm so glad that they're really like listening to people. So it's so easy to do. It's, hey, we can turn this on. There's a lot of shit going on with the world, and this is a way that a lot of people escape and they can relax. And it's been so much fun. The other thing they also added was reputation bonus, which I won't go too much into detail because if you don't play Warcraft, it's no big deal. But basically, it's easier to unlock the allied races and flights. So we've been playing a lot of that, and it's been so much fun. So yeah. So have you been playing anything recently?
Remake. I have.
We got time, bro. Let's talk about Final Fantasy.
I have gone through over, around, and under every single inch of that game in the last, what's it been, 12 days, 11 days now.
Oh, nice.
I have very little left to do. The play log, once you clear a playthrough, then you unlock hard mode and you get like a little play log menu that gives you like certain stats and tells you, this many things have been completed, so on and so on, that kind of thing. I have, like, the only thing I haven't done, and by the way, all of which is not necessary for the platinum for everybody trophy hunting out there. It has its own list, but the play log is a little more comprehensive. It also has things like how many enemies you've used the assess skill on, which is like the old scan ability, you know.
Okay.
But, and that's the only thing that I'm missing, is like I haven't assessed all of the enemies. Most of them, I think I'm like over half, but I mean, there's only some that you can't do the first go around, and like I didn't. My second playthrough was to go through everything on hard mode, and I couldn't. You know, my assessing was not a priority. It was survival, because hard mode is oh man, it was a nightmare and a half.
Yeah,
but it's doable. If I it's a way you can tell if something is impossible or not. If I can do it, it's possible.
Wow.
It can't be crazy hard if it's something that even I can do.
Right.
But
okay.
Because especially in games like this, where you give me an option to just bull rush straight ahead, that's what I'm gonna do. And hard mode punishes you big time for that.
Oh, nice.
It puts you back and says, no, you have to think this through.
Yeah.
And that took some time. But it's from a completion standpoint, that's all I'm missing. I picked up the platinum last night.
Nice.
Was just like through the moon about it. I was jazzed about that. But the game in general is just an absolute masterpiece.
Right.
Start to finish. I have taken more. If I could screenshot every frame of this, I would. Like it's gorgeous.
Oh, wow.
It is absolutely beautiful, and it's oh man, this is absolutely what I wanted. Like hands down, Square Enix just killed it. Fantastic job.
Yeah, I think I talked about it last time. I didn't play. I've only played a little bit of it, and dude, it's got me. I'm being torn in all these directions.
Yeah.
But I will get to it. The thing with Final Fantasy is, man, that game is like, I feel like I need a day off to ingest it.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll be doing that this weekend. I'm not sure. But actually, my schedule's changed a little bit now, so I'm working a later shift. I might just start doing that in the morning because no one's online. It's not like I'm going to go do this, I'm going to go do that, and I can't go anywhere. I might start doing that in the morning. So be prepared for me to ask you a million questions.
Go for it.
Yeah. But
some things I won't tell you, obviously.
Yes.
Because I mean, it's kind of weird to say that because the original came out 23 years ago now, and like all the story beats are out there, and you can see, like by the time you get done with it, like I thoroughly enjoyed what they changed, because they didn't go whole hog with it. Like they didn't completely reinvent the wheel, but some of the stuff they've tweaked is really great, and then they address the idea of changing the story in a they are very meta about it, and it's fantastic, and I love the hell out of it.
See, that's what I was curious, and don't tell me obviously, but I was curious if they'd have the balls enough to go, hey, you guys have heard this story, and we're very well aware that you know this story. Are we going to change some things to not throw some people off, but to make some surprises? And don't tell me, but I do hope there's some of that in there.
I will say categorically, yes, there are.
Okay, good,
I don't think you will recognize them just because you don't.
I won't. Right. I won't.
You won't. But when you come back and you'll say, "Hey, so what's?" You will have questions, and I already know what some of them are going to be. But it's like, this was not that, and this was very different from that, and this is why they did that this way, and this is what that meant, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. There were so many moments where, you get the nostalgia of it and everything, watching so many of the scenes play out, sometimes in largely the same ways, almost beat for beat in some aspects, right. and it's fantastic just to see it reimagined. It's crisper, it's brighter, it's a whole different play style, it's way more immersive. And then to see where things changed and to see the different directions that they went with things, and from a story perspective, it's really intriguing. It is. Yeah. I'm so excited to see where this goes next, and the little Easter eggs and homages that they paid to the original game, just in little things here and there, and something there, one that's almost of no real consequence whatsoever, in a sense. Uh, but it's such a neat. They're like, oh, that was like this from the first one, but they had to do it here. Like it's a whole. There was so much love and care and attention put into this game.
Yeah.
Full stop. It's amazing, and like just seriously, hats off to Square Enix. They did a masterful job, and I cannot wait for the next one. I don't want to wait another 5 years, but
I would like to think that because they've laid the groundwork
yes.
and the blueprints for this, that has to be in 2 to 3 years at the most.
I'm thinking 3. I would like 2, but I think that's a little too optimistic. I think 3 is a realistic expectation because it's from where this goes, and they talked about this earlier, so this isn't a spoiler.
They did?
Well, not with where like how long it's going to take, but just the setting of this first game is all in Midgar.
Right.
And then
right.
after that comes the rest of the world, which is not touched on in this game. But it took them this long to build Midgar, and they built a huge, like, this city is insane what they've done with this. And it's ridiculous, and it's breathtaking, and the amount of detail. No wonder it took this long to make it. I mean, it was in development for I think it was 5-6 years in full development mode.
Right.
And it shows that it took a long time to build this. But
and it's risky too, man. In a day and age like this where you take that long to make a game and you don't have a season pass and you don't have loot boxes and all this other stuff that other companies would have to have in the game for it to be called successful.
Yeah. This is very much this is a Final Fantasy game. The idea is, yes, there are going to be other there's at least one, maybe 2 more parts. I kind of see this going 3 parts just because the original was 3 discs and I like that synergy.
But I think it'd have to.
Or symmetry, I guess. But and and I'm okay with that because this game is for as much as it does end very much on this is clearly the first part of a story, and they've said that from the beginning. Like, the story does not end here. It is also very self-contained.
Yeah,
it's very much and I think it's because of Nomura's influence. There's a very Kingdom Hearts feel to it, in the sense of, like, this is a game that is its own story. It's self-contained, but there is more coming. It has that kind of feel to it, and it's not disappointing at all.
Gotcha.
In that respect. I expect, I'm expecting 3 years. I would love to see 2, but I think 3 is a reasonable ask.
Okay.
What now, that of course being before everything that's going on in the world now, and how that may have completely kind of uprooted game development in a lot of different ways. So that has to be taken into account. But I am excited for the next installment, and I can't wait to see some of the places that I know that we're going to be going to, and some of the things that we'll encounter, not counting the surprises and the new stuff. There's plenty just in this game alone. There are new characters, there are more developed characters. Those are fantastic.
Here's the thing, from someone who's only played maybe an hour of the original.
Yeah.
I have no idea where it goes. The only imagery I've ever seen of Final Fantasy VII is Midgar, and I watched the movie. I couldn't tell you a single thing about it. I don't remember a single frame from the movie.
No, it's the movie was a fun little, like, this. It was a great little way to continue that story. I think before they had the idea of doing a full-fledged remake,
I guess
they've incorporated a lot of ideas from the movie, from Advent Children, into this in a way that works really well, and I enjoyed that. I just
remember, like, an airship, but I think that's, like, all. My problem is I mix all Final Fantasies kind of up in my head, so I don't know which.
There is an airship, because there's always an airship. Right. It's a Final Fantasy staple that there's an airship, but there's most of the iconic artwork comes from Midgar. Most of it.
Okay. Let me ask you. A friend of mine, a few of them, they played the old one,
Yeah.
but I remember them talking about at some point they have to grind through something to unlock a certain ending, maybe, or a certain thing that happens. Does any of this like ring a bell? They basically said they play the original, but they wouldn't just beat it. They would try to get like 99 on something. I just can't. I don't know.
There's, I mean, it's classic RPG stuff. You can grind until you hit you hit level 99.
So is that what they were trying to do? They're just trying to get the top.
I think so. There was
Okay.
there was a side quest in the original where you had to breed specific types of chocobos so that you could have the right kind of chocobo that could take you to the only, like, this was the only way to get to this one spot on a map that had the most powerful summoning materia.
Okay.
And like this thing would just wreck house. Like
Okay.
it was a beast. It was called Knights of the Round, and it was a just it was 13 rounds of damage in one spell. It was insane.
Now,
And,
does this make you want to play any other JRPGs at the moment, like Dragon Quest or Persona?
and not maybe a little Persona, just because I haven't. What it really makes me want to go back
I
and play.
might be able to get a code if you're interested.
I would consider that. Yeah,
Okay.
I'd try
Okay.
that. What it really makes me want to go back and play is 15.
Gotcha.
Because I
Okay.
never, like, I started that and I got a little ways into it, and then things happened and I just didn't. But with that playing a lot similar to this,
Mhm. Okay.
the idea that, okay, no, I know I would enjoy this battle style now, because I've spent so much time with it with the remake. Like
Yeah.
I've gotten comfortable with it. I don't know if I'm good at it or not, but I'm comfortable with it. I know what I'm doing. So I would go back. Like, I would love to go back and really dig into 15.
Right.
Um,
Okay.
but
I'm.
I'm very excited to see where this goes next, because because what's next is the rest of the world, and I can't wait to see like some of the locations that are coming and some of the enemies that are coming, and then to see what's new.
Yeah.
I think I want to be the guy who says that's what I'm most looking forward to, is seeing the new stuff. That's a lie. I'm looking forward to seeing how the old stuff is new again.
Right.
But there is very much a feeling of you think you know this story
Right.
kind of thing.
Well, if you
But
think about it,
uh,
this sounds kind of. This might be weird to say, but it's almost as if the old version will be the abridged version of the story.
nah, it's a different
You don't think
story.
so?
Nope.
Okay.
It's
Oh,
you
it's different. Gotcha.
it is
Gotcha.
very much by the end of this one you'll see, like, oh no, there are it's it they go in a different
Okay.
kind of direction, not entirely. You have to play it to get
Okay.
it. Like, okay, it's you understand, like, the overall story is clearly very much the same, but the devil is in the details.
I'll put some more time into it this week. Now that I have my mornings off and I can do that, I'll definitely do that. Like an idiot, I bought Dragon Quest 11 before Final Fantasy came out. So now I have these two gorgeous games, and oh my god, I don't know if I talked about it last week, but the music from that game. I think it's from the I don't know the orchestra group for it, but I'm pretty sure it's like the Tokyo. Hold on, what are they called?
I have no idea what you're looking for.
The let me see if I can find the orchestra that does it. Of course I can't find it.
What are we looking
Uh,
for? Which
the Dragon Quest 11.
all I get when I Google Dragon Quest XI music is how bad it is.
What?
That's the first, like, I'm just looking at. I keep quitting Dragon Quest XI thanks to its atrocious music. So I heard
That is
Dragon Quest
absurd.
XI music is pretty bad. How do you change the music in Dragon Quest XI? How
Oh
to
my
fix the
god,
music? Like, just article
dude,
after
it's
article about how
it's a symphony. It's beautiful.
I
It's like a straight up orchestra.
I wonder if
Um,
maybe these are. Oh, was there a newer version of Dragon Quest XI?
Dragon Quest 11. Yeah, I mean, there's the Switch version.
I wonder if maybe they've changed it, because a lot of these are from like 2018, and
Oh, I don't
I'm
know.
just wondering if maybe somewhere along the line it's been altered or something.
Hold on. Let me see if I can find it.
Because that's all I keep seeing is just, oh, it's bad, it's awful, it's terrible.
No, 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 no. I promise you, it's good.
I mean,
I can't.
I
I
believe
can't.
you.
I can't find it, but it's. I mean, this sounds like a straight up. Like I don't know how you can get more professional than this.
Yeah.
When I'm playing it, I was just completely blown away. But who knows? I mean, I guess. What is it? Music is. Hold on a second. Yeah, I can't find it. I thought for sure that it was like the like. Hold on. Almost want to pause for a second, but I can't. I can't figure out who does it.
I mean,
Anyway.
I'll take your word for it. There's no, because everything that I'm looking for here is at least in the original version. I don't know if maybe they've updated it, but they talk about specifically how it's very much like a MIDI version of orchestral music. So I don't know if maybe they've changed it or they've updated it or what. I don't know.
No, it's hold
But
on. Do people just not like that kind of music?
I'm just, you're talking about it sounds like orchestral music, and that's what I'm
It
seeing. Like
is.
it, and that's
Right.
what I'm seeing that it's at least in the original version is that like it's not. You know,
Oh, no, it
reviews
definitely.
like reviews from when it first. We're talking about Dragon Quest 11, right? I am looking at the right game.
Uh Wait, are they looking at the soundtrack and not like the in-game music maybe?
I don't think there's. I don't think they differentiate. Like I think it's when they're talking about the music, they're talking about in game. But that's what I'm saying. Like all of this stuff is from like when it first came out in 2018. So I don't know uh,
Oh.
if like I don't know if that was updated or what. I can't find anything saying otherwise. Or 2017. But I don't know if maybe the because which one are you playing? Are you playing the Switch version?
The Switch version, yeah,
Okay,
Echoes of the Winds.
I'm thinking maybe the Switch version has updated music.
Okay, okay. Yeah, cuz
Yes. Right here, an orchestral soundtrack was later included in the Switch version, although the original soundtrack was also available. Yeah,
bingo.
apparently the original music was just it was basically like a MIDI, like old video game sounding music for the visuals
Oh.
that it had, so it didn't work.
No, this
But
is like a straight up
yeah,
orchestra.
that's what I'm reading here. That's the piece I was looking for. Was like, did it get an update for the Switch? And it did.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
Yeah, cuz I was listening to it like there's no way this should be this good.
yeah,
Like it sounds like not Lord of the Rings or like Game of Thrones, but like that level of quality, but like whimsical, like Dragon Quest would be. That's just one thing that really struck me while playing it was how fucking awesome the music sounded. So yeah, whew, okay, I'm sitting here going, well, I guess I'm the only
yeah,
one that likes it, but no, it sounded amazing. So I don't know. I am. I played a couple hours of that game. It's fun. It's very JRPG. But yeah, once Final Fantasy hit, I played that for a little bit, and then of course Modern Warfare with my brother, and then Warcraft with my friend. We've just dived into that. So I don't know, not enough time in the day.
no,
Uh,
that is fair.
I can't complain. So, but yeah, it's been a ton of fun, man. So have you watched anything?
Uh,
Have you seen any movies or TV shows?
I started Lucifer actually. Uh,
Oh, how do you like it?
I'm enjoying it.
Yeah,
I am enjoying it. It moves at a bit of a clip. Like that first season just kind of just skips right along, and I just
yeah,
kind of wonder. It does make me curious of like where is all this going to go. I'm only I think like 3 or 4 episodes in. I'm not far at
yeah.
all, but definitely enjoying it.
It's very much there we've seen a million of those shows
Oh
where it's
yeah,
like a
yeah,
detective and they throw a kooky person in the middle, and so I watched that with a friend. She loved it, and I don't think I would have ever given it a chance not by myself. But she was like, "You gotta check this out. We'll start over, watch it," and yeah, it blew by. I think Netflix they picked it up, and I think there's like one more season left,
yeah. It's something like
if I'm
that.
not mistaken. So hopefully it goes like it has an ending. Now that they have all this time. Yeah, man, it was pretty good. I liked it. Plus, he's a comic book character. I had no idea until we were like done with it.
Yeah, he was from Neil Gaiman's Sandman,
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
which itself is a fantastic run. If anybody hasn't ever read Sandman, it is, I don't want to say limited because that sounds like 6 or 8 issues, but like it has, it's the length of a good arc.
Yeah.
It's, I think, 60 or 80, maybe something like
Hmm.
that. I can't remember exactly, but there's a definitive like beginning and end. Like this is a story that gets told.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, so good.
Yeah. Dude, I just saw this. I sent you the clip here, or the GIF.
This
Le-
terrifies me.
Legends of Tomorrow is just straight up Star Trek at this point. Like they're not even hiding it. Um,
No, it's
uh,
it's almost like they're trying to out Orville.
yeah, it's great. I love how goofy that show is. But speaking of comics, just a few seconds ago, that's the other thing is, I have I think I talked about last week. I bought the from our friend Aaron. I got Powers of X and House of X, which is like a 12-part series. I think it's still ongoing. So I have that to catch up on. I have Silver Surfer Black to catch up on, and DC Deceased. So I'll probably read those over the next week, and I'll talk about it next week. Which are pretty cool. I haven't read a comic in forever, so that'll be fun to dive through. I'm just trying to find things to do in these uncertain times.
Nice.
Man, it just seems like every commercial says that these days. Anytime
Yeah,
I turn on TV.
yeah, they all say exactly the same thing. They all use the same stock footage.
Right.
They like they're I oh
Yeah.
it's actually kind of creepy. Like it's not at all settling to see every company produce the same ad with like the half faded same rolls of footage interspersed with a white background and just either a voiceover or text that all says the same thing of like, yeah, times are hard, these are challenges.
You're
We
right.
will face them together. We're all in this together. No, we're not. I'm 5 weeks without unemployment, and Roost Chris Steakhouse just got how many tens of millions of dollars for it as a small business loan?
Tell me about it, man. Yeah, I have
I
a
don't
friend.
think so.
Oh yeah. I have a friend who's he's got a food truck, and he didn't receive a penny. They basically told him they ran out of money. Yet there's a restaurant around here, Four Rivers. They got like $400,000. They got the max for each one of their restaurants, and yeah, they're not looking out for the little man.
No, they're not taking care of actual small businesses. They're
Yeah.
taking care of small enterprises, which from a
Hmm.
business standpoint is a little different. Like a small business is a mom and pop shop. That's a small business.
Right.
Franchises are not a small business. I don't give a shit who you are.
Right, but it really just it's how much money you have. I mean, we could go into the WWE
Man,
and what happened this week.
Man, I don't.
We don't have to talk about it, but
Oh, but
they
we're
I
going
think,
to.
oh, okay, good. Yeah, I do you want to talk about it now, or you want to hold off?
We might as well. Like, I mean, we're just.
I
Gonna
saw
go.
it was over 40% of their staff they let go.
The yeah, and
40%
that's
of their yeah.
of the employees, the actual people
Right.
that work there.
Right.
But then there was I need to I just want to bring up the list of all of the superstars that were let go.
While you do that,
Yeah.
what baffles me is that in the same week, not only was he put on the board, one of Trump's boards for the small businesses or for businesses to get them back and working, but they also talked about how much they have $500 million in cash,
Yeah.
to keep the company up. Now, keep in mind, this is the WWE, which is still on television. The one company you think that could hold its staff, could pay its employees or contractors. The other companies haven't done anything yet. Now, I'm sure at some point, maybe AEW and some of these other organizations will have to cut their staff. But to see the biggest and the one that you would think would survive to do this much of a gutting, it's disgusting.
Yeah.
And I don't know, and we'll get into it once you find that. But I also saw that I guess here in Orlando they had one of the council meetings. someone anonymously make the report that one of their employees were being forced to work. Essentially, they were told that if they do not work, they'd be fired, and they're being forced to do this. Essentially, they have to, wrestle with whoever. They didn't say wrestle, but they essentially said that we are forced to be touching someone else, so you can only assume they're a wrestler, or they'll lose their job, which they obviously need to feed their family. So it's absolutely disgusting. Like there's so many things that WWE has done over the years that make me not want to give them money, to make me not want to support them at all in any way, shape, or form. And now it's you can't, how do you how do you see all of this and still be excited for it? Sorry, little rant.
No, I mean you're absolutely right. Like there's love it or hate it, WWE is the biggest game in town for this.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and the idea that hey, we have to cut all these people and let all these superstars go, and then turn around and anybody who's had a look at their financials, anybody who's an investor have been on these calls is going, no, you didn't. Like you didn't need to just suddenly have all these people become unemployed at a time where they can't find other work doing this. And I think I genuinely do think there's a level of pettiness there. That
Well, there totally is.
Because a lot of these were people, I mean, like Mike and Maria Kanellis, who a long time ago had been saying, I'm not happy here. We don't want to be here. And then they were given a big contract, and they said, yeah, the hell that we'll sign. And now suddenly they're let go. Rusev, I think, was the biggest name on those because he's been unhappy forever. And
Yeah.
and they've never done anything with him. They've never let him go. They've never really brought him out. Like, he did the angle with Lana and Bobby Lashley recently, which was oddly good at times. But after that, like, nothing happened, and he's not out injured. He's been sitting at home because they have nothing for him to do, and they wouldn't do anything with him. And now that there's no competition to go to, sure, fine, bye. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. But I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, this list, Drake Maverick, Kurt Hawkins, Carl Anderson, and Luke Gallows, Heath Slater, whose new shirt I bought because it was hysterical and I love it. Aiden English, Eric Young, EC3, Leo Rush, Kurt Angle, Sarah Logan, who may be back because a lot of people went to bat for her after she was let go, and a lot of people in the backstage area came up and said, what the hell are you doing? She was just...
Her husband's still there, right?
Yeah, the Viking Raiders are still there doing embarrassing carpool karaoke segments now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God. Check that out on YouTube and try not to drink. It's terrible. Mike Chioda, which was a big shock because Chioda's been there for 20-some years.
He was a ref. He's the ref, right?
Yeah. He's what, like, everybody, like, you see him and
Yes.
you're like, oh, yeah, God, I've seen that referee forever. Yeah, he was there for, I mean, he's done WrestleMania main events going back to, like, Austin's days. He's been there forever, which, so that's sad. Primo and Epico, who I haven't seen them on TV in years. I honestly didn't know they still worked there, which is kind of sad because they needed to be, like, they need new tag teams, and those guys are good tag team wrestlers. Rowan is gone. We said Mike and Maria Kanellis. Zack Ryder, which was just like the last insult for the guy who made it as a YouTube, he was the first wrestling personality to use YouTube to get big. And then
I hope these guys are on Twitch. I hope they got their own Twitch, their own YouTube right now.
I imagine so, or they're gonna find something. I'm fairly certain Zack Ryder still has his YouTube channel or
I was going to say
YouTube channel. Something.
Yeah, someone like him could totally survive. Like, for example, God forbid, I don't even want to wish this upon anyone, but, like, let's say, Austin Creed. Let's say
he's a great example to look at now because he's been out injured for so long. It was his Achilles, but he's still kept up. Like, I mean, I
think he could survive totally.
Oh yeah,
he is adapted.
If he had to, he absolutely could. But it's just. I don't see no way Jose starting a successful Twitch stream anytime soon. I don't know. I may be wrong. But I mean, we talked about Rusev, and then on the NXT side of things, you had Deonna Purrazzo, Alexander Jaksic, MK Jenkins, Tenera Conti, who was criminally underused. That was a bummer. Tino Sabatelli, who was out with an injury for a long time. Nico Gorelli, Cesar Bonani, Mars Wang, and Dorian Mack. And they had Cassius Ohno also let go, which sucks because they never gave him a shot. I forgot Cassius Ohno. I can't keep calling him Cassius Ohno because I keep calling him Chris Hero, because on the independents he was Keith Lee before there was Keith Lee. What WWE has done with Keith Lee was the right thing they should have done with Cassius Ohno. That's how that should have gone. And don't get me wrong, I'm glad they learned that lesson and did that with Keith Lee, because he's an absolute treasure. But that's what they should have done with Cassius Ohno, and I'm bummed as hell that they did him wrong in all that. And then there were some staff that was furloughed. There were some trainers at the Performance Center, and then there were some of the producers backstage: Fit Finley, Lance Storm, Mike Rotunda, Hurricane Helms, Scott Armstrong, Pat Buck, Sean Navari, Billy Kidman, and then a name that I do not have here in front of me. There it is. Andrea Listenberger was a writer for WWE, and she was let go. She wasn't furloughed. She was let go. She was one of the main writers on the Mandy and Otis story, which was great and fun and exactly what we needed right now. So, of course, WWE let her go.
Damn.
Because Vince McMahon's an asshole who doesn't really have a grasp on things as well as he thinks he does. And I'm tired of him. But I just...
Yep.
And especially with the way that they've handled their tapings and their taping schedule, and the way it's gone back and forth to where they were going to tape, and then at the 11th hour, Vince, and because these are all Vince McMahon decisions. He said, no, we're not going to tape, we're going to do it live. And then, the networks finally got through to him and said, Vince, look, you don't have to have actual live programming. Just whatever you tape, we just have to have first run of it. So tape it and send it to us, and we'll air it, quote unquote live, and it's fine. Like, the deals are not going to change. The money is still going to be there. He
wants to be the only person having live sports right now.
Yeah. How well is that working out for the XFL, which the former commissioner is suing him over for, like, how many $1 million for his contract that I don't think Vince wants to pay him?
Yeah. No, I agree. It's disgusting.
I'm just done. Like, pack it up and go. And I don't. And on the same token as this, if, I know Georgia is deciding that they're going to open a bunch of stuff up on Friday against all of the advice on the planet. But I don't want to hear about AEW, packing their talent and crew into somebody's wrestling school again to do, more weeks of taping. I don't want to hear it. I absolutely don't want that, because I think that's crap. And I think they need to look at this and understand that this is not the way to do this.
I think the only thing that they can do right now, the wrestlers, honestly, if not now, they'll never be able to do, is to unionize.
Yeah, it'll never happen.
This is the perfect opportunity. I shouldn't say opportunity, but that's what it is.
It is what it is.
This is the perfect storm for them to finally go, we just lost 40% of our talent. This is the time where we could stand up and say, no, we're not doing this. Not until it's safe, period. Look at what they did with Roman. Roman was wiped off the face of the earth with them. He will be buried forever now because he decided not to work WrestleMania. And he had leukemia, of all things. An actual real thing. And they could have totally... It's real. And that's when wrestling is at its best, is when it's real shit. They could have easily said, look, he's got leukemia. He's staying home. He's doing the right thing. We have other talent who can work it, because, he is way more at risk, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And they didn't. They wiped him off the face of the earth. I don't understand it's disgusting. It's just it really makes me want to support any other wrestling organization at this point. AEW, I'll watch until they start making decisions like this. And so far, they have done none of that.
No,
I mean,
they did their tapings and they're done. They have content in the can for a while now.
Rusev gave, what was it, like $50,000?
20 grand.
20, okay, 20 grand. The week before he's let go. Like it is.
Yeah.
It is so disgusting at this point. I honestly can't watch it anymore. I can't support them. I'll still talk about it, of course, and I'll watch whenever whatever. But man, it is so disgusting at this point. I can't support stuff like that. This is really the only time where these wrestlers can stand up together and go, look, it's not okay. This company is not okay. You look over the last year, sure, they made a ton of money, right? Yeah. But who are the top 2 people they fired, right? Then they let all these people go. The stuff with Saudi Arabia, it's one thing after another. They can't even protect their top guys anymore when you have Roman Reigns refusing to work and Brock Lesnar basically showing up and ripping him a new one. Rightfully so. None of them should have been there.
Yeah.
In the middle of a pandemic, when we're losing hundreds of people, thousands of people, to still think that the show must go on with wrestling while every other sport is basically told to sit home, because obviously they should.
It's one thing, back in 2001, they were the first big thing after 9/11, and that was a completely different time and circumstance, and it was what people needed. People needed a sense of community at that moment, and that was what SmackDown did. That SmackDown special was tremendous, and that was a time where it filled, like, it worked. It was just crazy enough to work, and it was well done, and it just worked, and it helped people have a moment to breathe. But I really think that on the other side of that coin, it really didn't help temper Vince McMahon's God complex. I really don't, and I really think that he kind of believes he's invincible. And if you look back through history and say, when did WWE? I mean, hell, the pay-per-view when Owen Hart died, they continued the show. Yeah, they reported his death on air during the pay-per-view and kept going. This is not a company at the end of the day. This is not a man at the end of the day that really gives a shit if it's not somebody he is exceptionally close to. And I know he would be the first one to throw himself on a landmine. I absolutely do believe that he would take that bullet for the company in a heartbeat if it was going to be good for a ratings and financial statement. If it was going to help save the company, he would do it. But he wouldn't do it for his people at the sacrifice of something with his company. Yeah. I believe that, and these actions don't dissuade that argument. And I know, there's stories of his generosity towards members of the roster and the staff and this and that, and that's great. That's all well and good, but you can be charitable and be helpful and still be just trash. But
there's also him covering up a murder too with Jimmy Snuka.
Yeah.
So I hear you, man. It's one of those things. Fuck. It's hard to separate a lot of the good talent that's still there from the person running the company. You want to support the people there, but it's hard. It's really hard at this point.
I'm not going to fault the ones that show up, because I get where they're at. This idea of they need this job. I understand that, and I don't fault them for showing up, and I don't fault the ones who stay home. I don't fault Roman Reigns in the slightest for saying, look, no, the hell with that. That's not going to happen. But
he could have easily paid for these people's, instead of letting them go, he could have paid out of pocket for these people's salary for the next 6 months, and it would have been nothing.
Yeah.
All they have to do is just stop going to the new building, to the new office. I know they put that on hold.
Yeah.
But you just let go half of your staff. You don't have to go to a new office at this point.
Yeah.
There you go. There's your money saved.
That's why Money in the Bank's going to be in the office. They're
Yeah.
remodeling, I guess.
Right. Right.
I just
Oh
no,
man.
and like I said, if AEW decides, hey, George is opening some stuff up, we should go back and start shooting some new material. I'm gonna be just as pissed. I
Yeah.
absolutely am because there's no reason for it, none,
No.
absolutely not. But I mean,
No.
WWE is bringing people in and flying people in. Well, I say they're flying people in. They don't cover expenses for their talent. They're having people come in, not just the Orlando talent, but saying, no, every Monday and Tuesday, this is when we do. That's their schedule now. They shoot everything on Monday and Tuesday, and then people leave, and then they come back, and then they
And
leave,
that's the
and then they
thing.
come
It's
back.
like I could almost swallow them doing shooting for 3 months at one time.
Sure, sure. Do
That
take a
way,
week. Take a
yeah,
week and do 5, 6, 7 weeks of TV in a week, and then
yeah,
everybody's done. Everything is it's in the can. They're gone home. They've done what they need to do. But they're not doing that. They're taking the
no,
first 2 days of a week of the week, and they're going to do that every week, at least until Vince McMahon changes his mind again, and probably says, no, you know what? I'd rather do it live. Get everybody back here now.
no. It's the moment his wife put in that super PAC that the governor decided, hey, well, you know what? Maybe we should look into this and make them essential service now.
Well, I mean, a lot of Florida is starting to reopen beaches and stuff. Anyway, Florida is like the guy who finds,
It was the
they
same day they gave that money
yeah, but
that the governor changed the bill that he passed or whatever that he passed
yeah,
to include sports.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
there's no question that
oh
that's
no,
where the money.
oh
Yeah,
no, it was directly correlated. There's no
yeah.
way. But I mean, even broader than that. I mean, Florida beaches and everything are starting to open up. Different counties are opening up. I mean, Florida is treating quarantine like a hot chick they picked up at a bar, and now they're losing interest.
And and
Like,
and and maybe it's just the stereotype I'm thinking of, but we're extremely vulnerable with our elderly population.
you're not wrong.
I know it's a stereotype that there's a lot of elderly here, but it's actually true.
It's yeah,
It's tons of elderly people, and thank God my grandparents are smart enough to know, even if everything opens back up, they're not going out. We're still doing
don't
everything
go.
for them.
No,
Yeah,
absolutely not.
yeah. We still go get their groceries. We still do all of that stuff for them. But they're like, well, hey, I want to go to the pizza shop or I want to go to UPS. I got a job. No, we're doing it. We're gonna take it. So you don't have to. It's not worth it. Dude, have you seen some of these conventions are still going on?
Yeah,
Are still planning on doing it? I saw that PAX is still planning it.
PAX
I
West because they're I think it's because they're planned for September, so they're not. I want to give something like PAX the benefit of the doubt in that they're not canceling outright because they're looking at a modified form of it. I want to give them the benefit of the doubt on that until I see what happens, just because it is so much farther. I mean, San Diego Comic Con canceled. They said, no, there's no way. We can't do
uh,
this at all.
the governor said there's no summer events happening like that,
Yeah.
and so he said that I think this is what I think's happening. I think that they're not canceling until they're forced to,
Yeah.
because then they can get money back because it's out of their hands,
I think that's entirely possible. Yeah.
and so it can justify giving the receipt. It's just I hope that people who have tickets and are excited about that just have the correct expectations. That, I mean, for me, for example, for example, I know the Star Wars Celebration is in Anaheim this year in August, I believe.
Yeah.
Um, Even if they move that to Orlando this year, there's not a chance in hell I would be caught
Well,
there.
and I'm pretty sure that they did. Have they not canceled Celebration for this year?
They've not canceled Celebration, which is wild. I would think Disney would be smart enough to go, that's not happening.
I mean, because it's supposed to
But
be in August,
yes, it's
right?
supposed to be in August. Yeah.
There's no way they can think, and I wonder if that's maybe one of those things that nobody's just thought about. Like
No,
they've
I mean, they've come out recently and said it's still on the table. We're still paying attention. We're still monitoring the situation. I think it's sort of irresponsible. You should let people know so that they can get their money back. They can cancel their flights. They can cancel their hotels. They can get a refund.
yeah.
Again, I don't know all the behind the scenes. I don't know if this is an insurance reason, if this is If they cancel, if the company cancels it, it's on them. Or if they're forced to by the state, can they receive their money back for the convention? I don't know. I'm sure there's a ton behind the scenes involved with that. I have to imagine that business, conventions in general, is going to be taking such a huge hit this year and moving forward. And I honestly, my opinion is, if they don't have the ability to test the civilians for this, you shouldn't be going to stuff like that. Period.
Which we don't have and haven't had, and I don't give a damn what anybody tries to say. We don't have it.
There's no way to feel safe going to something like that unless you can have adequate testing. Unless some miracle happens, and out of the blue it just all disappears, and that's a great fantasy, and that would be great, but that's not going to happen.
Yeah, remember when that was being talked about back in February when we had 15 cases? It'll be like a miracle. Exactly. It'll just go away. Well, guess what? That didn't happen.
It's happy talk, and it's I don't know. Like I said, even if tomorrow they said it's coming to Orlando, which is my backyard, there's no chance dude, Anthony Daniels' autograph is not worth that.
No, and I would have to imagine
he would not show up.
No, I would. I wouldn't. I would. And
no celebrities are going to. Yeah, no celebrities are going to these conventions.
Hell no. I wouldn't blame him to stand there and have to it's I've got to imagine that they go through enough hand sanitizer as it is. Mm-hmm. But on top of all of this, to be in that, no, hell no. I wouldn't do it.
Not until there's testing, and honestly, you won't catch me at one of those things until there's a vaccine where I know that I can go and get something like that and feel safe.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. I'm sure most businesses and stuff will be open by then. Hopefully, we will all get back to work and things will seem normal not normal, but you know what I mean. Some sense of normal. But a convention is the last thing that I'd want to do, to be shoved into an auditorium with thousands of people who, you're already, what do they call it? The con crud? Like it's a thing. Like you go there and you get sick, but you're happy you saw all your friends.
Right. Everybody comes away from that with some kind of cold or bug or something. Oh, it always happens. But now let's throw an actual plague in the mix.
Right.
And
yeah, so it's going to be interesting seeing that. I know a few things. I know that DC Comics has just released now. I think they're going to be doing free comics daily on their application. They're releasing it digitally. They're older comics, but it's one of those things like, hey, we know you got nothing to do right now. We know your comic shop is closed up right now, so here's some free comics. Don't have the article in front of me, but yeah, they're going to be doing that daily moving forward. So
yeah, good for them.
Yeah, go to their website. I'm sure there's an article or whatnot about that. Yeah. But I don't know. I was talking to Aaron about it. He's still doing everything he can to sell from the shop. Basically, he goes up on Facebook Live.
I'm telling you, man, watch everybody listening, go to a comic shop on Facebook and watch those live streams. It's QVC for comics, and it's hilarious. Yes. It's fantastic, and it's fun to watch. They have a Google Doc to fill out to send, so they have like it's not an order form, it's like a payment information form. I don't know exactly the best way to explain it, but so that you can just be like, hey, that's the one I want right there. And he just puts comics up on, he's like, here's this comic and it's on lot A or whatever. And it's first come first serve on their live stream chat, Yep. And he takes deals on it. I've seen that where he's like, hey, I put this up here for 8, and somebody was like, hey, would you take 6? Yeah, sure, I'll take 6. Here you go, sold. It's hysterical. Like, just, I love the idea of it. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant, and hats off to him. But I'm thrilled. I'm genuinely thrilled for him, and he found his hustle, and he just said, screw it, we're gonna do it this way.
Yep. Yeah, he made it work, and I love him for it. Yeah. And I'm glad I got these comics. I got a few coming, so it's been really cool. Support your local business. That's really the only thing I've been able to do to give back. Him and my buddy Miguel, been ordering some food from him, but I don't know. There's not really. I mean, as everyone pretty much knows, there's not that much news.
Yeah. I mean, we had, more stuff got delayed. I mean, In the Heights got delayed till June of next year. Scoob is coming straight to digital on May 15th, I think. And I think it's because when Trolls came out digitally, everybody went and rented it for some reason.
Yes.
So Warner Brothers looked at that and said, you know what, that'll work. We'll do that. That'll be fine.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Oh, well, real fast, I forgot to mention about the comic stuff.
Go for it.
I think a Diamond is going to start shipping again. So if you have a local shop, give them a call, see if when they're getting their books in again. Because even if you can't go into the shop, they can still send it to your house. Call your comic book shop; they'll make sure you get your stuff. Most of them are doing free shipping anyways, as long as you get a couple books.
Yeah.
I also saw that I believe DC is going to not use Diamond anymore.
I saw that. There was the article I saw was just about like they were in talks with other distributors or something like that.
I think once they realized that DC or that Diamond was like, oh hey, we can't not have business for a week, or we're done. I think they're like, oh, this is a problem. This is a big problem. We need to make sure that we kind of take fate into our own hands.
Yeah.
At this point. So yeah. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
No, just they moved that. Scoop's coming out digitally. Venom is also coming out next June, and it has the most upsettingly disappointing title I've seen in a while.
Yeah.
It's a Venom. The Venom sequel is called Venom: Let There Be Carnage.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody I've talked to, nobody likes it.
Yeah.
Nobody
it should
likes
have been Maximum Carnage.
I'm all right with that.
Take a note from the comics. Come on, Marvel does this beautifully with their titles. Civil War, like even Vox did it with the Days of Future Past and stuff like that.
Sure.
Like that's how you, and they're iconic. People know Maximum Carnage. It's very 90s, but still, it works.
Yeah. We talked about San Diego Comic-Con was canceled. Disney Plus is on a bit of a roll, though. I mean, they announced the Prop Culture series a couple weeks ago, which is
awesome.
I love. Like I know you and I talk about this kind of stuff all the time. Like we love that stuff. Like, give me more of that. Did you finish watching the Imagineering series?
I didn't. I need to.
Oh, it's so good. Oh God, I want to go back and watch it again. It's so good.
Well, they announced The Mandalorian.
Yeah, the
8 episodes.
Yep, Disney Gallery, Star Wars: The Mandalorian, and I'm curious if this is just like, I wonder if if Disney Gallery is like a new series, and each season is going to be a different Disney project.
Well, they could do this all year long, where they just do Mandalorian, and then they break for a couple months, and then they do another show.
Yeah.
Break for a couple months, and then you can always come back to the Mandalorian, because I could watch that for days.
Absolutely. No, I would absolutely love, just give me, and I
Marvel
think
shows.
There's a right. But I do think there is a slight risk to be talked about here, though, because if this is the kind of avenue they're going to go with this, don't get me wrong, I'm all for this, but what does that do to cannibalize extras on like Blu-rays and whatnot? And does that devalue Blu-rays? It's a slight side effect. I know it's not much, but I feel like that has the potential to take away from some things, depending on what they branch out to. Obviously, nobody's rushing out for The Mandalorian on Blu-ray, so this is perfect for this.
Right. Well, I don't know. The way I see it is, you're paying $7 a month or something like that.
Yeah.
I hate that when I go and purchase a movie on Amazon, like Star Wars or something like that, you get behind the scenes, well, where's my commentary? But you got it on the Blu-ray. And I get why you would want that extra stuff on the Blu-ray. I guess this isn't different because it's not purchasing it. So never mind. Forget. I was going to say, I hate when I get something digitally. It's not the Blu-ray. It's not the 4K. But did you see the new Dune stuff?
I did. It looks fantastic.
Oh, my God.
I have no idea when it's going to come out now, but it looks fantastic.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Zendaya, she looks fucking kick-ass in it.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. It looks so awesome. So much better than the original.
Yeah, well, there's a low bar.
Right.
I think, and this is not, to go back to WWE only peripherally, I really think my favorite headline of the last few days happened today. And it's just, I don't remember exactly how I put it, but I feel like it was a missed opportunity for every sports outlet not to put it up. And it's just, it's what's happening with Gronk. And I want to find... because I love the way that I worded it. It just absolutely killed me. So I need to find. How did I write this down? Where is it? Where is it? Damn, it's right here. Retired NFL player and current WWE 24/7 champion traded by former team for fourth round draft pick.
Yeah, it's gold, dude.
Gronk is retired, and the Patriots traded him to the Bucks for a fourth round pick.
It is bizarre.
It's what the hell is 2020, man? What is this year?
I think Tom Brady got a ticket too for exercising in a park this week.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, he wasn't supposed to.
Yeah, well.
And yeah, no, I drove by one of our lakes and I saw people taking the saran wrap off of the equipment, and I just thought we're doomed.
Yeah, this is too soon. Like, yeah. This is not. I mean, I've been our local news radio here in Statesville has been covering. There's a reopened North Carolina protest in Raleigh today, and they're very pro this. Like, they're super on board with it, because they're stupid. And I'm just, and that's my thing is I'm just like, and one of the state senators was holding up a sign that just said, "I'm listening," and I was just like, no, you're not. You're absolutely not. Like, you're going to get people killed. Like this, we are currently as a state shut down until March 1st. The stay-at-home order is through May 1st. It's through May 1st. Yeah. And then we'll go from there. And I know people are, everybody's screaming about, we have to reopen things. We have to reopen. No, we don't. We've actually proven that we don't. Has the world stopped spinning? I get it. It's not been 6 months. The economy's in terrible shape. Really, ask the stock market. It goes up and down just like it usually has. Remember when everything was still open and the stock market would every once in a while drop, a few hundred points in a day for no reason anybody could explain? I'm just saying.
I started reading David Goggins' book, Can't Hurt Me. He's like a former Navy SEAL. I guess you're not formal. You're always a Navy SEAL. But anyway, he put out a video that I thought was so important. He was just saying, like, you want to work out? That's great. You want to go to the gym? You don't have to. You can do push-ups. You can do sit-ups. Yeah. You can go for a run. No one's stopping that. Like, quit bitching about what you don't have and what you can't do, and be grateful for what you do have, and be grateful that you're not in a hospital with a tube down your throat.
Yeah, how about that?
And it's so true. It's so true. Yeah, his book is fucking phenomenal. There's a lot of things that I don't agree with him. I don't see eye to eye with him on all things, but man, he's a straight talker. I hate using that phrase, but he is. It's and when I saw that video, it really hit home. It's like, absolutely, like, there's no excuse to not stop exercising. There's no excuse to stop doing what you're doing, but you can't be selfish. You can't, boo-hoo, you can't go to the gym. Go for a jog. Go out in the backyard, do some exercise. Like, you can do other things.
Yeah.
Lift something. You got something heavy around the house. Go lift your bed up a few hundred times. Do something.
You're not wrong, man. That's
true. Yeah. It's stop making excuses of what you don't have and just start doing it. And like I said, my buddy recommended the book, and it's real. It's good. It's good shit. And not in the Vince McMahon way.
Thanks, Vince. Yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of ruined that. Oh, by the way, guess who the anonymous person went by who said all the complaints about working
John. Yeah.
John.
I love it.
The Invisible Man.
Like, of course it was.
Yeah, I bet John Cena's like, yep, okay.
Too much.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're... theaters are not going to open, talking about movies being postponed, Georgia saying, oh, well, the movie theaters could start opening, and movie theaters are just going, nah, we're good, thanks.
How is that going to work when theaters in Georgia are open, but most of the country's still closed?
They're not going to open because they don't, first off, there aren't any movies to show. Like, I mean, that's, number one, like, what are they going to do? Have runs of, like, they're just not going to do it. They're not going to open. I know there was a lot in the press about AMC because it's publicly traded. You tend to see more about it. And there's been stuff about the credit rating and the liquidity and all that kind of stuff. And a lot of that, admittedly, is over my head. But the big takeaway was they're talking about end of June, early July now.
Yeah.
And you don't hear, like, I've been looking for stuff on like Regal and Alamo Drafthouse, but they've been fairly quiet. And, fair play to them, nobody's really asking them. AMC being publicly traded, there's been a lot of that in the press. But the bottom line for every exhibitor is there aren't movies coming out.
Right.
There's nothing really slated until July. I mean, like the next big movie coming out is Mulan, which is at the end of July. They've moved everything. Sony has moved everything to next year. Like there's nothing that hasn't been changed. I think looking at what's the dates for movies, like for at least major-ish movies. Tenet is the middle of July.
Mm-hmm.
That's your next big movie. It's July 17th, and then Mulan the following week. There's nothing big for the next 3 months. So theaters are not going to open. Like, I don't care what the states say. I don't care what anybody else, no matter, how bad their fake tan and hair color is, might want to say. Like,
right.
There's just not a business to open for.
Right.
So there's no point in it. And, quite honestly, pizza places probably shouldn't be essential either, because these kitchens are not big enough to properly socially distance in.
Right.
Like, it's I'm not crazy about it. Really not. But,
I don't even think people should be rushing in the grocery store. That should be takeout only, in my opinion. There's so many things that, I just locally here, a few of the local Publixes here, they found out that some of the workers there ended up getting it.
Yeah.
So what do you do at that point? Like it's crazy. It's nuts. And anytime I do go there, because I do got to get stuff,
yeah,
I feel terrible. I feel, like I try to get in there, I get out, I'm nice as I possibly can.
Yeah, I don't like. I had to run a food line the other night, and I had a list. And I know everybody has a grocery list, but nobody. But like I didn't go to shop. I had a list. Mm-hmm. Here's what I need to find. Right. I went in, and the people, God bless the people working in grocery stores, because they have been as nice and accommodating as I have ever seen, and it has to be twice as difficult as it is on their worst days now.
Oh yeah,
because
absolutely.
I can't imagine and I mean, I know some of them have like the plexiglass shields in front now, and some of them are wearing the face shields, like those plastic, like not welder's masks, but you know what I mean.
Right.
But still, I mean, you can't control. I'm not, there's and some of these grocery stores are still looking for staff, and they're hiring at actually halfway decent pay. And for as much as I've considered it, I then look around at the people in my town, and I'm like, I remember delivering to you people. I don't want to be around you. I'm staying in my pizza place because I'm in my own little bubble, and I don't have to deal with the public. And I can't, like, right now, I don't think you could pay me enough to do it. I live at home with my mom, and if it was just me by myself, I'd consider it. But I'm not bringing that home. Hell no.
Right.
Not a chance. I don't care what you go pay me an hour. That's not going to happen. But, I went in, and they've got everything marked, and, you shop one way down the aisles, and, 6 feet apart and all this, and they're doing everything that they can. But you can't fix stupid.
Yeah.
And by and large, people are stupid.
Yep.
And that's
it's when I turn on Facebook, and I say turn on Facebook, when I look at Facebook and I see what they're saying, and I'm like, God, these are the same people walking down the same aisles.
Yeah.
Not a care in the world, and they don't care what they're touching, what they're doing. They think germs are made up or something. They think it's all Bill Gates or 5G, and it's ridiculous.
The flu kills more people.
Yeah,
I want to smack people that say that, because they don't understand the idea that we have had the flu around for how many generations. So it is in our DNA to produce antibodies of a sort to help fight the flu. And it's why the flu keeps changing, because we are able to fight it. This thing is brand new. Mm-hmm. Unless by some bizarre quirk of genetics you're immune to it, which is possible with every kind of disease. Right. But we do not have any sort of built-in immunity to this like we do with the flu. So if we weren't doing this, social distancing, if we hadn't started any of this by now, our number of dead would have skyrocketed.
Yep. Yeah, it's wild times, man.
Yeah,
I'm good with staying in.
yeah, I am too. I wish I didn't need to keep working how I do,
Yeah.
but
I'll see. I'll see if I can get you that code for Persona.
yeah, because
Maybe.
I would actually really enjoy checking it out. I
Yeah.
did pick I because I picked it up at one point, way on back, like I think not long after Persona 5 first came out. However many, what's that
Mhm.
been, 3 4 years now? It's been a minute.
Yeah. I think IGN gave this remaster a 10.
A
They give it a
10,
perfect
yeah.
score. Yeah.
Because I remember like the reviews for the first one were fantastic. I was like, I'll try. I've
Mhm.
heard good things about this series. I'll try it, and I picked it up because I had enough Sony rewards points back then, where it cost me absolutely nothing
Yeah.
to buy, and so I bought it, had it shipped, never took it out of the shrink wrap.
Yeah.
Just never got around to it because it's one of those things where like I know I need time to sit down and sink into it.
Yes.
Never
Yeah.
had
Oh, yeah.
time, and just so it just sat. It sat and I did nothing with it.
I'll see what I can do. I'll see if I can get it by next week. We can talk about it.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. I'll reach out. But yeah. Oh man. I don't think there's been any more news. I know we've ranted and raved
Yeah,
about everything going on, but man, that's just what everyone's talking about. It's hard to stay away from it. It's hard to
yeah.
um I don't know. And it's it's been my peace of mind to jump into Warcraft, to jump into Warzone, and I know that's not that entertaining to talk about, but maybe this week I will explore other things. I know I talked about this as well. Into the Loop, or did I talk about that?
You did a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, Into the Loop. There's a lot of things I want to catch up on, like The Expanse. I want to catch up on. There's a lot of things out there, but we'll see. Hopefully by next week.
Play the remake, man. I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. It's so damn
Yep,
good.
I got that on there too. Yeah, so. But I think that's it for this week. We'll be back next week. Our time's a little off. We'll try and get back on a regular schedule. It's just with work and everything, it's just been thrown off a little bit. So hopefully everything will be up by next Wednesday. So maybe Monday or Tuesday we'll record. But make sure you go check us out on Spotify, We Geek Podcast. Go to our Gmail at wegeekpodcast@gmail.com, our Twitter at We Geek Podcast, at the Logan Witt, at Adam Estep. Your Apple and Android podcast. I think that's it. Anything else I'm missing?
YouTube.
And YouTube, Wiki Podcast at YouTube. And yeah, we'll be back next week. See ya, Captain.
Captain.